But I want you to see something else that is so important in this verse. It says this, for, at the end of verse 16, for they perceived that this work was done by our God. Why was the extremely difficult work that they were called to do done in only 52 days? Because God desires for himself to be glorified among the nations. They looked at this work and they said, only their God can do this. I want you to think about this for a moment. When they say that this had to have been done by our God or by their God, don't you think those enemies of the kingdom, those enemies of Nehemiah and Jerusalem and God's people, don't you think they were praying to their gods? Don't you think they were asking for strength from their gods? Stop this work. Strengthen our army. Keep them from working. And what happened? Every single time, our God showed himself to be stronger than their God, because our God is the one true and theirs are false. Here's a challenge for you and for me. And I think that overall, as a church, we do this pretty well, but this is something we just need to make sure we always remember. When God does big things, when God helps us to accomplish hard, big things, if the enemy of God will acknowledge that it's God doing it himself, we should as well. Our work should not be so that we can be seen as a church who does big things or hard things, or individuals or families who does big things or hard things, but so that we can be seen as a church who follows Jesus through big things and hard things. And so that God receives glory. So that God is lifted high. That's the reason that we should enter into those things. I don't want this church to follow Jesus through the hard things and big things of this life so that people will recognize us or me. I want them to recognize Jesus. I want them to see him as the one who's sovereign, as the one who's powerful, as the one who's good. As the one who blesses and gives all good things.